today on 15 on 15.
Visitors to Aruba opting for private accommodations is being addressed by more and more hoteliers. Plus, U.S. gas prices are at an all-time low. And we show you a very modern, fine dining twist on a traditional Aruban holiday favorite. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yentl Lieuw. The president of the Timeshare Association reveals that there are several aspects of the industry that people should be made aware of. Private accommodations is a concern in which policymakers should take a closer look at because it could ultimately be detrimental for Aruba's entire tourism sector. More and more travelers coming to the island are looking into private accommodations instead of hotels or timeshares. Airbnb, Bookit.com, and any apartments or housing being rented out all fall under the category of private accommodations. This is something that is growing on the island, in which the president of the Timeshare Association warns.
Anything that elevates our industry, puts some dimensions into the resort offerings that we've got is a positive. In that regard, I must say that one of the things that we are looking at is the growth of the apartment type and persons, individual people who are renting their own homes or rooms in their own homes. And that's an element that we think needs to be looked at very, very carefully as it relates to the quality that should be standardized, taxation issues, and just being safe from a police standpoint or just from a health perspective, that we do not allow part of our industry not to be controlled to a certain extent.
Once an owner signs to buy a timeshare, the work does not stop there. Rather, it becomes more crucial for the hotelier and resort personnel to work even harder to maintain the quality.
It's good and it's bad. The good part is we still enjoy as an island a very, very good reputation. We've got pretty high standards. It doesn't mean we can't get better, but we need to take care of it. If we take care of it, we know we've got people who come back every year. They spend money on the island. Arubans are employed, so the government doesn't have to look for that part of unemployment and whatnot. So that's the good side. The bad side is if you do not take care of it, then you already messed up part of your industry, and that's the thing.
Aruba's main economic pillar is not a guarantee. Both the timeshare and tourism industry on the island are vulnerable. Therefore, maintenance is key.
Tourism is such a fragile thing, and there's so many moving parts that we got to all be conscious of it. And through some meetings and some committees that I'm on, we're looking at even introducing it into schools. We're talking about the universities, and just so everybody understands the importance of tourism. It is there already, and the reason why Aruba is very popular as a timeshare destination is because there's a seamless integration between people who love to come to Aruba and Aruba itself. The people, the weather, the safety, the whole experience. So we've got that. So to enhance that with another few timeshares, if we can get it, is not too bad.
Within the island's hotel sector, turnover is high. This includes executive positions such as the role of the general manager. The president and CEO of Tropicana was recently on the island to interview candidates for the GM role. Here is what he says are some of the prerequisites for this role. Brian Sediford, who has been the general manager for the Tropicana Hotel since 2010, has resigned and will be relocating back to his hometown, Las Vegas.
I'm actually in the process of interviewing for Brian's replacement. I'm really sad to see him go from a professional and a company standpoint, but I'm excited for him because I know how important it is for him to be next to his kids. So it's kind of mixed emotions, but I'm confident that any one of the candidates that I've talked to, that everybody will be happy, and I'm excited about what they're going to be able to bring to Tropicana and to Aruba.
We spoke with the president of Tropicana Entertainment to gain a better understanding as to some of the criteria necessary in hiring on the new general manager.
Well, every one of that I've spoken to has either currently resides in Aruba or has significant ties to Aruba. So I think that that's critical, that they understand the environment, the government, and the different rules and laws and things that you referenced.
And on that note, we will be right back. Stay with us. Coming up next, robots as waiters. Welcome back to 15 on 15 and thanks for staying tuned. U.S. gas prices have hit a 4-year low thanks to booming crude output, failing demand, and a strong greenback. The average price of a gallon of regular gasoline in the U.S. has dropped 12 cents over the past 2 weeks, reaching a 4-year low. This is according to a national survey. The average price of regular gas has reached 2.72 cents per gallon, which is the lowest since November 2010. Experts attribute the dramatic fall-off to a spike in crude oil production in North America. Other factors include a slowdown in demand for gas and a strengthening of the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is at the highest since 2006. Now, this is of course good news for Aruba since the island's oil prices are strongly dependent on international trends. Moving forward into the world of technology, one restaurant manager in China has replaced all his human wait staff with robots. He believes the replacement will save him money by eliminating the need to pay employee wages. You simply can't get food served to you in a more modernized fashion, as this restaurant in eastern China has robots as waiters. The 1-meter-tall robots are able to deliver foods to tables and greet customers with simple phrases. They travel along magnetic strips on the floor and use optical sensing system running back and forth to the kitchen collecting meals. The manager believes the robots are cheaper to have at the restaurant than humans, even though the machines cost $9,400 each. But they are bringing in the crowds. The restaurant has actually become a tourist attraction with the addition of the bots. The manager says as time goes by, our lives are becoming more and more high-tech, and catering, meaning the food industry, needs to have a breakthrough. The robots have a battery life of 8 hours and a 5-year lifespan. If serving food isn't enough, the robots can also dance to Gangnam Style. Each robot is equipped with a sensor system that keeps the machine from running into walls or people, and it comes programmed with a limited 40-phrase Mandarin Chinese vocabulary, allowing it to both take orders from and respond to customers. From the sector of food and beverage to real estate, we just showed you how one restaurant manager is implementing creativity, so let's see how real estate agents can do the same. The business of real estate can be tricky, so one Dutch agent decided to be innovative and creative in luring in more open house visits. In Holland, one home has a mini roller coaster to take people on an inside look of the home in Ermelo, Netherlands. To show the house, the broker ushers prospective buyers onto the wooden ride, which carries the interested parties into the basement, up a flight of stairs, into the main floor of the home, and finally out through the garden. As the visitors are taking the tour, there is a narrated system explaining the different parts of the house they are seeing at that particular moment. With all the fun aside, this is business. This is part of an advertising campaign. They developed a promotional video featuring the roller coaster tours. Now, I'm not sure if it's the best way to sell a house with this roller coaster, but it sure is generating plenty of publicity and it is memorable. To remain competitive nowadays, I guess you've got to conjure up some innovation at its finest. Let's take a break. This is what's coming up next. Check out a local Aruban chef modernizing classic holiday dishes from Aruba. Each culture and community around the world has their own traditional holiday foods. Ayacas belong to Aruba. One Aruban chef has been able to transform ayacas into a fine dining experience. Take a look. Chef Irvin Cruz from the kitchen table deconstructed the traditional ayaca and used different ways in recreating the dish. First, Chef Cruz makes the ayaca with only chicken in it. Once unwrapped, the ayaca gets pan-fried. Afterwards, the typical ingredients, such as bell peppers, cashew nuts, prunes, and raisins that you would traditionally find in an ayaca, will be incorporated as a prune chutney, bell pepper gel, or cashew nut powder. The traditional way of cooking the ayaca is transformed from beginning to end.
The ayaca, we gave it a twist also. We pan-fried it for some crispiness instead of just being a regular boiled ayaca. And we don't cook the ayaka in water, we sous vide the ayaka. Sous vide is low temperature cooking and in a vacuum bag. So you hold all those flavors of the ayaka inside of the ayaka instead of it being bombarded by water, and all the flavors go into the water instead of staying in the ayaca.
Chef Cruz is an Aruban chef who has been able to transform a traditional Christmas favorite into an upscale dish. He is staying true to Aruban roots, but in a modernized way.
As an Aruban chef, I want to let the people taste and get to know what we eat in this season in Aruba. That's Christmas. If you can go everywhere and you can try roasted turkey with pumpkin and sweet potatoes, but you will never try the Aruban flavors that you get at home or at different locations that are Aruban restaurants. So we wanted to give the people that come here our food, our national food, what we love about Christmas.
This certainly doesn't look like a regular ayaca at first glance, but I had the chance to taste the dish and the flavor is every bit the same. The same goes for the entire Christmas menu the kitchen table has to offer.
I'm sure you will be surprised about the flavors, because when you see it, you will ask yourself, is this really a traditional ham? But when you taste it, it's very traditional. Same as the soup. Maybe we will bring you childhood memories back, but I'm pretty sure you will have fun.
Now, the traditionalists out there, perhaps the older generation who has been making ayacas in a certain way for decades, may not appreciate this way, but don't knock it until you've tried it. And on average, an ayaca on the island sells for about 8 florins, and you cannot and you will not get this at the kitchen table for that price. Of course, this is fine dining. So to see how all of Aruba's favorite Christmas dishes transformed into a fine dining experience, call 528-7015. That is all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching. We'll be back here on Tuesday night with a brand new edition of 15 on 15. So we'll see you then.